MSC has always encouraged inclusive approach for investors in the capital market in India. India being the largest democracy, it is high time now we look at all different sections of the society. Last year, we concentrated on women and focused on women to be part of capital markets. This year, we have taken a separate approach and we have reached out to the LGBTQ community, wherein we had almost 50-60 plus people, including a lot of NGO headed by the transgender and other LGBTQ communities. It was a very informative morning and it gives us insight as to when across the globe, just the LGBTQ community is holding almost $4.6 trillion in terms of income, and it can probably create as the fourth largest country in the world. So it is the potential, and so including all sections of in society, being part of the capital market is definitely something that we would like to encourage. The same way as we feel that there need to be multiple exchanges, competition needs to be there so that service cost to the markets will also improve. I thank CAI for giving us this opportunity to be here on the platform. A happy birthday to you, Mr. Vadva, once again. And we look forward to many more such informative sessions being shared. We have released our set of videos, which was suggested by SEBI. Mr. Garg himself has elaborated the videos today, this morning, and we shall be sending them out and sharing it across all markets and market participants for further awareness. Another additional factor that we have taken is having the Nukkad Nataks, not at the Nukkads, but we've taken them to school. We have taken them to school. As of now, while I'm speaking, there are 200 commandos, the ones who were there at the Bombay attack, are being trained under our initiative, which MSC has taken with CASI. CASI has launched their book on financial literacy. That's the page. By end of December, they will launch the book in association with MSC. So we're proud to be part of making our investors more educated, more informed, and have a more healthy and vibrant market. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. And now I am calling upon Mr. G.P. Garg, though he was scheduled to speak in the last, but as he has to leave for the program. Before that, sir, we would like to promise you that in Delhi, we are with the NRO of SEBI, we are going to do 4 or 5 programs among the ladies club, among the morning walkers, in the yoga ashrams, and in the clubs. That's what we have planned. And we have also planned that the concluding program on Sunday at 4 p.m. will be under the banner of CPAI, which will be virtual, in which we have also requested the Honorable MOS Finance that if he can be present, though 50-50 chances are there, but we'll be calling many more dignitaries on that. So we request you that on 16th at 4 p.m. we will be doing the concluding program also on Sunday at 4 p.m. Over to you, Mr. G.P. Garg, the most dynamic executive director of SEBI.
Respected Mr. Narendra Badwa, Shri Sabrawal, Shri Ashok Agrawal ji, Mr. Mathur, all the dignitaries of CPI. I'm extremely happy to see that distinguished speakers are there from all MIs. There are officials from DEA. Ladies and gentlemen, I think there is something special about CPI programs because this is one forum where maybe the team works so hard that I see everyone present here. I remember last year or before last year. So thank you so much, CPI, for doing so much of arrangement, so much of legwork. And I see almost everyone is here. Looks like that we are, through this program, we are celebrating all of us, World Investor Week, all institutions together. I also remember of some of our programs like India International Trade Fair or Kolkata Book Fair, where we forget that which organizations we belong to, whether it is BSc, NSC, CDSL, NSDL, BBF, CPI, NME, everyone wants to do their best. I think that's the beauty of the whole, when it comes to the interest of investors. So I'll not read what is there. In fact, I was enjoying listening to all the distinguished speakers, and everyone added something so well that there is something for me from SEBI to, write down and work on. I'm extremely happy, like Madam Kundu just now was mentioning, morning we started with the program. Honestly, I had no idea that LGBTQ community is so big. And his team, going to some of these communities, we always, feel a little reluctant going there, talking to them, understanding their issues. It was, a kind of revelation for me. Similarly, they are doing the programs on through Nukkad Nataks, going to the schools, doing programs for the commandos. It's really commendable. Just now, Mr. Sabharwal mentioned, we are going to housing societies, we are meeting the morning walkers, we are making sure that whatever be the ways could be, we conduct the program. Mr. Kunlani from CDSL, meeting regularly, and whenever we call, they are ready to do whatever best can be done, have come out with the wonderful videos. Morning, I saw the videos or small films made by, MSc. Wonderful job, very high quality job. So I request that whatever this, content we have all created, let us share with each one, because there's no point in spending money again and again. Some of you have done wonderful work. Just now we were hearing from Nishaji from NSC. You have created some library of some 15 top class videos. I requested NSC that please just remove that. This is from NSC, make it the property of a kind of, common, so that each one of us can use it. Because for a common investor, it doesn't matter that who comes with the best solution, who comes with the best material. It should be done in the same spirit, like I see on the screen, almost everyone there. Morning, we were with the NCDX team, a very unique concept of Krishi Rath. In fact, they came with wonderful, messages, a very, unique way of going across the length and breadth of the countries. 9 Krishi Raths they want to take across the country. This Sunday, MCX wants to do walkathon in Mumbai, in the Bandra complex. So I think the kind of programs we are doing, my heart is filled with joy, happiness, and I'm personally very, very grateful to each one of you and the kind of ideas all of you have come, and we are making this World Investor Week so successful. We also have made efforts this time that let us make good use of social media, because this is one area which is untouched, and we have the library of around 50 small films, videos, which is available with us. I have asked, all the distinguished guests who are here to your team that why not we, after this World Investor Week, we send this content to our investors or to, all demat holders. So these messages are going across the country. It is not just 1 week, but let the investors feel that we collectively are with them. And the tone of this year's Investor Week also gives me a lot of happiness that no one is talking of business. Everyone from the bottom of heart is coming what is good for the investors. This is what, when you hear, you feel really, really happy that business will come automatically. Business is a byproduct if the investors are there. So I think that the tone gives me a lot of assurance, a lot of happiness that we are actually sincerely, genuinely thinking for the investors. Like Mr. Rajiv mentioned about BSE has 11 crore UCC. Mr. Badwa mentioned 10 crore demat accounts. Mr. Agarwal mentioned that in another 3-4 years, the way our demography is changing, the young population entering into the markets, I think this number is only going to increase significantly. So the key is that these investors or these youngsters who are, coming to the system, they should feel that we are there to, for the hand-holding. I also see a distinguished change in the, youngsters now. Instead of ownership, they are more interested in utility. So the shift is visible, maybe our people are more inclined to use the service rather than ownership. So probably they are more concerned about utilizing a car rather than, owning it. They are more happy if they have a proper, residential accommodations. But they are also realizing the importance of moving from saving to investing. That I can see that when I meet large number of, students from college age or even from schools, or when you go to the hinterland of the country. So I see immense potential for, what is going to happen in future. So we have this collective responsibility that through the forums like World Investor Weeks and the programs we conduct, we actually give the best possible information, knowledge to the investors. And probably we are also the largest in the world, actually. So on a lighter side, last year, we were slightly delayed in sending our data to ISCO, and they were practically urging, sir, please send it fast. I said, we have so many organizations, because what India does, probably rest of the world does. Taken together, India is more than rest of the world. That's my feeling. So, what world does together, India does alone, actually. We have that kind of potential. And when I see what kind of programs, activities we are doing, probably this, our mission of reaching to a large number of investors is becoming bigger and bigger, because I see this World Investor Week size and its length and breadth across the countries only increasing. So I'm personally grateful to each one of you for making it such a wonderful big event. I'll only request that some of the messages which we send should be kept simple. People should be able to easily absorb it. I have kept a lot of pages, but I like that it is better to listen each one and learn from you rather than giving my, some messages, because I take this opportunity to, learn from each one of you. And I'm very sure that our collective efforts of taking this World Investor Week will not stop here. After the World Investor Week, we will make sure that the ideas which emerged during these weeks are crystallized into more programs on more activities. I only will urge the CPI to let us know that what is the kind of programs, because in respect of commodities markets, we are not able to do the number of programs which say we would like to do. We will sometime have discussion with you that what more and what should be the strategy to make the commodities derivatives more popular, or to create more awareness about some of these products. So I'm very sure all of us together during this World Investor Week, great opportunity to come together, and whatever we have planned, we will materialize in next 7 days. From SEBI side, once again, my sincere thanks to all of you for wonderful efforts you have made. And after World Investor Week also, whatever we have planned, that we will be on social media, and we'll make use of the best of the digital channels throughout the years will happen. A lot of activities have also been planned during the day by NSE and BSE. Like last time, BSE illuminated their building with the message of World Investor Week. NSE also has a lot of activities planned up. Morning we had MSC. Everyone is pitching in. So thank you so much. I wish you all good wishes of Dhanteras, Happy Diwali, and I'm sure that our collective efforts will continue in future. And this mission of handholding of investor, or taking investors together, or our mission of, I say, investor first for anything we do, will be a motive as we move in future. Thank you, Mr. Wadhwa, Mr. Sabharwal, entire team of CPI for your sincere efforts. And I stop my talking here, and would like.
Madam Padmaja, MD of NSDL, PS Reddy ji, MD, MCX, Ashish Chauhan ji, MD, NSC will be speaking later. And we will also have Mr. Deepak Ranjan, the commodity head from the Finance Ministry, and of course, Mr. Shekhar Chaudhary, the director of the capital market. They will be speaking after this. And now I request my Rishant Saini ji to run a video to at least you stay for 3-4 minutes, Mr. GP Garg, to understand that we also have many videos we will run 1 or 2 out of that. Mr.
Sure,
Ishan Seni, please. Actually, our videos are not yet ready. I request Madam Padmuja, the Managing Director of NSDL, to say a few words. Thank you for joining Madam Padmuja Chandru, and I request her to please say a few words.
Thank you, Sabarwalji. Thank you, PD, SEBI Shri GP Garji, the entire SEBI team, Mr. Narendra Vadhwa, all the dignitaries from Ministry of Finance, other MIIs, and all the participants in this meeting. I think this is the first time I'm addressing through BC a CPI meeting, and the kind of work that is getting done is really very impressive. I'm happy to be here today. I think the theme of the World Investor Week, which says investor resilience, a smart investor conducts research before investing and diversifies his portfolio. This is a very well coined theme and has 2 parts to it, conducting research or due diligence. And the second part is about diversification of portfolio. I think on both these counts, SEBI has been working very diligently along with the MIIs and other participants. And I can see, especially from CPI focus, the electronic gold receipt that SEBI has brought in very recently, and also the government and the GIFT City being nominated as an agency for import of gold, as a hub for import of gold. I think it's not just the retail securities market, but the entire commodities market that also has to be brought into the mainstream and sort of monetized. Because if gold can be really brought into the real economy stream, I think it would unleash another major revolution in terms of the economic growth. That said, I think it is my also our humble contribution to this whole Investor Week. NSDL is very active in investor awareness programs. I myself have been seeing the activity that is conducted across the country, and no demography is left untouched normally. But a specific focus this year has been on the students, and that has come in both in the physical form, having them addressed through various dignitaries, but more specifically through the Market Ka Ekalavya program that we have launched this year, which is an online, simple, jargon-free program in all Indian languages. So we are actually, it's a 3-hour program, very simple, no jargon, it's an immersive program, also interactive. People do have quizzes and question answers. So the students are very active. We do it in collaboration with colleges, universities, also in collaboration with our DPs and even associations like CPI. I think we can do a module on this commodity business. Mr. Garg mentioned that this is not amply, covered and all that. I think we can do some specific module for this. It's not difficult to add one more. And because we are already covering the equity, mutual funds, and the other securities, this would be a good, I think, this is the idea I got. And the second part is, in all these programs, we make sure that at least 50% of the participants are the female participation is there. I think that's another, area which is slightly less represented. Though the controls may still be there with them, we don't know. But the face of investing is still very predominantly male in India. I would like to see that we work towards changing that also, like I has already mentioned. I think many points have been covered by the others, and I would not like to take too much of your time. There has been there's a lot of people I would like to hear from. So we'll continue to do our good work, and with the help of SEBI and CPI, I think we will be there. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Madam Padmuja. We are always thankful that whenever we request you, you join. After your joining, it was the first in CPI event that you came on a public platform. Sanjay Gakharji, just whether PS Reddy ji has joined? Sanjay
No, sir, I think he's still somewhere else.
Yeah,
He was supposed to join. And
please keep a track with him. That when he joins, please let me know.
Yes, sir.
And now I request Mr. Deepak Ranjan, the Joint Director, FM Division, Department of Economic Affairs, Ministry of Finance, who is in charge of the commodities in the Ministry of Finance. to say a few words. Over to you, Mr. Deepak Ranjan.
Thank you, Sabarwalji. Am I audible to all of you?
Yes, please continue.
Yeah, first of all, thank you very much for giving me this platform to share my views. I will congratulate CPI for celebrating this week, Investor Awareness Week, because one of the biggest hurdle for our market is information asymmetry. And there are two sets of people, one those who have information and knowledge, and another set of large number of people who do not have access to that information and knowledge. And there are potentials that those who have information and knowledge can benefit at the cost of those who do not have that information and knowledge. And this kind of scenario is not good for the development of the market per se. So it becomes very crucial to create that kind of awareness and information in the market, which is easily accessible to everybody, and particularly investors, because they need protection in this kind of an environment. Of course, this week is a celebration of those efforts which have been taken by the regulators, the exchanges, which they have been doing throughout the year, and this week is a culmination of that, all those efforts. I will like to take opportunity to say that, of course, investor awareness is crucial, but also important is to create awareness among all other kind of participants, which is there in the ecosystem. Other kind of stakeholders, say, be it the policy makers have important role to play. And it cannot be just assumed that all the policy makers have access to all the information or knowledge of the entire system. So it becomes very important for the regulators, the exchanges, and this entire ecosystem who have daily access and part and parcel to do with this market, create that kind of an environment in which everybody who is part of this ecosystem have access and awareness and knowledge of this entire system. It's an interlinked process, and it will create a general awareness level of the entire ecosystem. So, like, for example, easy to understand booklets on how market works, what are the issues which market is dealing with, what are the tax which market which is applicable, because these informations are very disintegrated, and only a small segment who is working will have knowledge to it. But if it is brought together in easily readable, understandable form in form of small booklets and easy to read FAQs, or say small training programs which can be open for investors and other participants and stakeholders and policymakers, that will go a long way in creating a environment of awareness and education and all the stakeholders of the ecosystem. So that was my humble submission to this gathering, and I'll stop here, and we'll be looking forward to listen to other speakers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Sabarwalji, unmute yourself.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Deepak. We will take your advice and we'll try to do it. We will come and meet you shortly to do other things jointly. And now I am requesting Mr. Rishant Saini, our Secretary CPI, to run the videos, and request all of you to be there. We will have after that Mr. Reddy and Mr. Shekhar Chaudhary and Mr. D. Rajesh and Mr. Shekhar Chaudhary in the last.
मेरे को लगता है कि आज विराट गेम में 100 मारने वाला है, लिख के रख ले, ये सही है। मेरा पूरा इंट्यूशन ये कहता है कि सोना है ना, अभी यहाँ से और ऊपर जाएगा अगले 6 महीने में, लगा दे पैसा गोल्ड पे, ये गलत है। देखिए, इमोशंस जो है ना, वो क्रिकेट और बॉलीवुड में बहुत अच्छे लगते हैं, बट व्हेन इट कम्स टू इन्वेस्टिंग इन द कमोडिटी मार्केट, इट्स ऑलवेज बेटर। देखिए, बेहतर यही है कि ट्रेड रिस्पॉन्सिबली। तो क्या है कुछ डूज एंड डोंट्स, क्या करें और क्या ना करें जब आप कमोडिटी मार्केट्स में अपना पहला कदम रखने जा रहे हैं, वो हम बता देते हैं। सबसे पहले सबसे सिंपल बात, ट्रेड आप सिर्फ रजिस्टर्ड ब्रोकर से ही करें, और साथ में सारी कागजी कार्रवाई पूरी करें, और सारे डॉक्यूमेंट्स को मांगने, देखने, पढ़ने और समझने के बाद ही ट्रेडिंग की शुरुआत करें। अब जब आपने इंश्योर कर लिया है कि आप ट्रेडिंग सेफ और सिक्योर तरीके से ही कर रहे हैं, तो अपने रिस्क को और अपनी रिस्क टेकिंग एबिलिटी को जाने पहचाने और उस पर खूंटा डाल के बैठ जाएं। जब आपको लगे ना कि स्टॉप लॉस हिट हो गया है, तो कई बार छोटे समय के लिए आपको मन में ख्याल आएगा कि थोड़ी देर और पोजीशन होल्ड कर लूँ ना तो शायद ट्रेंड रिवर्स हो जाए। लेकिन देखिए, छोटे समय के लिए नुकसान सहना आगे लंबे मुनाफे की शुरुआत होती है। और यही चीज़ आपको अपने टारगेट्स के साथ भी करनी है, क्योंकि वो कहानी सुनिए ना कि चौबे चले छब्बे बनने और दूबे बन के रह गए। और हम तो चाहते हैं ना कि आप छब्बे बने, दूबे क्यों बनेंगे? तो ऐसा नहीं करना है, ठीक है। तीसरी बात कि अपने मार्क टू मार्केट मार्जिन्स को हमेशा समय पर भरें, ताकि आपका ट्रेड मार्केट में बना रहे। वरना तो आप उस पोजीशन में तो हाथ धो ही बैठेंगे और जो फायदा आपको एक्सपायरी की तारीख तक पहुंचने में होना होता ना, वो भी चला जाएगा। चौथी बात ये कि सेटलमेंट और डिलीवरी के प्रोसीजर्स और चार्जेस को बहुत साफ साफ पढ़ें। अगर आप कैश सेटलमेंट की जगह फिजिकल डिलीवरी के लिए जा रहे हैं तो उसके चार्जेस और पैरामीटर्स को बहुत बारीकी से ध्यान रखें, वरना बाद में कई बार आपको ज़्यादा पैसे देने पड़ जाएंगे। और पांचवी बात जो सबसे ज़रूरी है वो ये है कि भाई, गाना है ना, कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे, लोगों का काम है कहना, लेकिन मार्केट में मुफ्त की टिप्स देने वालों से थोड़ा दूर ही रहना। देखिए, मार्केट में इन्वेस्ट करने की टिप्स है ना, आपको हर गली बाजार नुक्कड़ में मिल जाएगी। उससे थोड़ी दूरी बना के रखें, क्योंकि देखिए, टिप्स तो उनकी हैं पर लॉस आपका है। वैसे वो कोविड चला गया है, पर इनसे 2 गज की दूरी सही है। तो जेन्युइन और ट्रस्टेड एडवाइजर की मदद से ही ट्रेड करें। और अगर ये वीडियो पसंद आया हो तो तुरंत इसको शेयर करें, और अगर कोई कमेंट है तो कमेंट करें, बातचीत करेंगे तभी तो बात आगे बढ़ेगी। क्यों?
We have more such videos, but as we have the shortage of time, we have more such videos with us.
ना जो मुस्कुरा रहे हो, क्या बात है, हेजिंग करके आ रहे हो। देखिए, जीवन जो है ना वो अनिश्चितताओं से, यानी कि अनसर्टनिटी से भरा हुआ है। हमें लगता है कि हमें ज्ञान है कि आगे क्या होने वाला है, पर असली ज्ञानी वही है जिसे पता हो कि हमें तो बहुत कम पता है। तो ऐसे में फिर खुद को इस अनसर्टनिटी से कैसे बचाएं? मैं कहता हूँ आज ही कमोडिटी मार्केट में हेजिंग करके अपना प्राइस इंश्योरेंस करवा लीजिए। अब आप पूछेंगे, यार ये हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, लाइफ इंश्योरेंस तो सुना था, ये प्राइस इंश्योरेंस क्या है और इसकी पॉलिसी कहाँ मिलती है? दरअसल हेजिंग से आप किसी भी सरकार से मान्यता प्राप्त वायदा बाजार से कमोडिटीज़ के दामों के गिरने बढ़ने का इंश्योरेंस करा सकते हैं। अब आप पूछेंगे कि ये काम कैसे करता है, तो लीजिए बताते हैं। अब किसी भी वायदा बाजार में आप किसी भी चीज़ को आगे के दामों के लिए खरीद के बेच सकते हैं या फिर बेच के खरीद सकते हैं। बस आपको एक तय समय के अंदर सौदा सेटल करना होगा। अभी आपके कमोडिटीज़ के व्यापार में आपका इंश्योरेंस कैसे कराता है वो समझ लेते हैं। अब मान लीजिए आप एक ज्वेलर हैं और आपके पास कुछ लोग आए कि भाई धनतेरस पे एक अच्छा सा सेट बना के दे दीजिए। आपने भी हाँ कर दी। अब आप सोना कहाँ से खरीदेंगे? बुलियन मार्केट से। आपने बुलियन मार्केट से सोना खरीद लिया, सेट बन भी गया, लेकिन जिस दिन डिलीवरी और पेमेंट की बात आई तब तक सोने के दाम गिर चुके थे। हो गया ना आपको नुकसान। अब सवाल यह है कि इस नुकसान से आप कैसे बचेंगे? तो जिस दिन बुलियन मार्केट से आपने सोना खरीदा उतना ही सोना आप वायदा बाजार पे बेच दीजिए। अब जब सेट डिलीवरी करने की बारी आती है और दाम कम हो जाते हैं तो जितना नुकसान आपको इस सोने को बेचने में होगा उतना आप वायदा बाजार में उस सोने को खरीद के कवर कर लेंगे ना। तो आपका जो प्राइस फ्लक्चुएशन था, जो आपका नुकसान था, उसका हो गया ना इंश्योरेंस। चलिए अब इसी चीज़ को एक और एग्जांपल से समझते हैं। अब अगर आप वायर मैन्युफैक्चरर हैं तो आपको हर समय कॉपर की ज़रूरत पड़ती रहती होगी। मान लीजिए कि आपको एक बड़ा ऑर्डर मिला है जो लंबा चलने वाला है, या फिर एक ऐसा ऑर्डर जिसके प्रोडक्शन को शुरू होने में अभी समय है। अब आप अगर उसी समय सारा कॉपर एक बार में खरीद लेंगे और साथ में रख लेंगे तो आपको काफ़ी स्टोरेज और इन्वेंट्री कॉस्ट देनी होगी। लेकिन अगर आपने प्रोडक्शन के समय कॉपर खरीदा और दाम बढ़ गए तो हो गया ना नुकसान। अब इसको कैसे कवर करेंगे? ठीक वैसे ही जैसे सोने में हमने किया था। उस समय हमने गोल्ड फ्यूचर बेचा था, यहाँ पे हम कॉपर फ्यूचर खरीद लेंगे और जैसे ही फिजिकल मार्केट से कॉपर प्रोडक्शन के टाइम पे खरीदेंगे वैसे ही फ्यूचर्स को बेच देंगे सही पकड़े तो जो आपका प्राइस इंक्रीज वहाँ हुआ वो आपका यहाँ भी होगा, तो आपका प्राइस इंक्रीज हो गया, कवर हुआ ना। इंश्योरेंस बढ़ते और घटते दामों का, तो बस तुरंत हेजिंग से अपने प्राइस का इंश्योरेंस करवाइए। और अगर ये वीडियो अच्छा लगा हो तो जल्दी से शेयर, लाइक, सब्सक्राइब का बटन दबाइए। ना तो शायद ट्रेंड रिवर्स हो जाए, लेकिन देखिए
Thank you, Nishant. We have many more such videos which we are running at the investor awareness programs which we variously do. We have just as a sample, we have put two short videos there, but we have many more with us. Ashish Chauhanji was due to join us by 2:45, but he is still in a meeting with the SEBI chairperson. Mr. P.S. Reddy, Sanjay Gakharji is able to join, Mr. Reddy?
I doubt, sir. अभी तक तो आए नहीं है.
I request you to, on behalf of MCX, to say a few words. Over to you, Mr. Sanjay Gakhar.
Thank you very much, sir. So happy birthday to Vadva, sir.
Thank you.
And namaste to everyone on the dais, so to speak, on the virtual dais.
Sanjay ji, to tell you, Sanjay ji, please, to tell you, it is not only the birthday of Mr. Vadva ji, our president, but our many more executive committee member, Mr. Kishore Narne from Bombay, who is there with us, Mr. Rajender Bhutra ji, who is also there with us on YouTube from Calcutta, and Mr. Govinda Raju from Hyderabad. There, these three people, birthday is also there today. This I was due to tell in the last, but as we have started early, I was informing that 4 of our honorable members are today, including our president.
Okay, great. So wishes to everyone. So the tone of discussion has really been set by Garg Saab, in terms of reaching out to various segments of the investing community, students, hedgers. So we are targeting by 2047. Recently, Sabarwal Saab did a program with PhD where we are targeting a nation of $35 to $40 trillion size as a developed nation, and efficiencies in manufacturing and sourcing of raw material, the pricing efficiencies would play a very important role. So availability of a robust liquid commodity derivatives platform would address those issues. And at MCX, we are doing large number of events during the World Investor Week. The targeted number of events is around 60. We are reaching out to students, farmers, investors, and hedgers. And for example, I just finished 2 events with 2 universities, one in Delhi and one in Jammu. So we are reaching out to all the segments of the investing community, the hedging community, and meet the objectives set out by SEBI in association with CPI. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Sanjay. But keep on trying. If next 10 minutes Mr. Reddy can come, we will be thankful to you as well as to him.
Yes,
and
sir.
Now we are requesting one of the most dynamic regional director of SEBI, NRO, Mr. Rajesh Dambeti. Mr. Rajesh, we are planning, as we told you, 4 or 5 programs along with the DGM, Mr. Gajendra Neeraj, in coming days. We also assure you that the CPI will leave no stone unturned to assure that the SEBI pavilion in the trade fair, which is happening from 14 November 27 to 27 November, the SEBI gets the first prize. And we will not be finishing only with the investor week here. Investor programs will keep on doing in the trade fair also. And as 2 small videos were shown, many more such videos we have already prepared, which will be running in the trade fair also. Over to you, Mr. Rajesh Dambeti.
Thank you very much, Sabarwal ji. I hope I am audible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
Thank you very much, sir. So thank you, CPI, for inviting me for this program today. And I'll start off with respected GP Garg Sarji. I think he has left this thing, but no issues. He was there part of the program earlier. Madam Padmaja Garu, then heads of other MIIs, then I think office bearers of CPI itself, and eminent speakers on the virtual dais, and ladies and gentlemen, as we all understand that I'm sorry, I'm and Mr. Shekhar Chaudhary ji and Deepak Ranjan ji also. I'm very sorry for that, for them also. Thank you very much. I think this has been a great occasion that we all have come together on this platform. Not only here, probably across the India, we all are celebrating the World Investor Week under the aegis of ISCO, as we all understand. And this is being done simultaneously in all the 6 continents, as I understand. And the theme for this is on investor resilience and sustainable finance. So I would like to share some few thoughts on investor resilience, because a lot of people have talked about what has been done and about in the markets and all those things. I thought I'll just share a few words on this. But before that, I would like to just give a small disclaimer that these thoughts are my personal and nothing to do with SEBI or the regulatory reports as such. It's all about, how I think about it personally. Kindly excuse me. There is quite the weather has affected me slightly. Otherwise, if I am not audible, please let me know. I'll start off with resilience. Basically, what we talk about resilience and adaptability. These are 2 important traits that determine how one recovers or bounces back after being affected by some kind of an adverse situation. So we all are talking about an adverse situation, and this is how how do we actually come out of the adverse situation. The one example that comes to my mind is about COVID-19. So we all have gone through that COVID-19 situation, and we have come out of that black swan event now. And but in the process of coping with the pandemic, we all have learned certain things in life. And the top on that, and the topmost on that is how to be resilient, because we all have been the way we have faced the pandemic and we come out of it. We all learned certain new things, we adapted to certain new things which probably we were not adapted to or not knowing earlier. So this gives me a small thought that actually, whenever any crisis or adverse situation happens, it helps us to actually become more resilient. And at the same time, I understand that, sometimes we may have no other choice but to, just go ahead with the situation at hand. Similarly, I was trying to give this example just to show that why not we should have a similar approach in the investments as well. Because investments are also, there are so many ups and downs. Like the moment the COVID-19, pandemic started in November 2019 in China, and then in India in probably 2020, early 2020, and how the entire capital markets were behaving, not only India, but world over. It was almost a roller coaster ride, it was so volatile. But then we all know that volatility is the nature of the capital markets. But then a lot of people use volatility to their advantage. They perceive the situation sensibly and they devise an efficient strategy. And then they decide their investment process. Similarly, I think that's how investors also should look at it. Volatility actually also, at times erodes the capital. But then what do you mean by erosion and what do you mean by capital protection? I'll just try to bring a small differentiation between these two. When we talk about capital protection, it does not actually mean that you have to completely ward off your negative returns. Most of the times there will be losses in the capital markets, but then when the capital market hits some kind of turbulence, what is important is in terms of ensuring that we cut down on the disproportionate losses which would be there, and wherein the damage what can be caused due to the volatility of the markets is measured and appropriately contained. So this is what I was trying to bring into this thing. Now, as we understand the investment journey, it is undoubtedly going to be a non-linear process. Investments are always going to be non-linear. But at the same time, having said that, we should be mindful that corrections are a nature of the markets, and then ups and downs are actually unknown. We never know when the ups, what is the upward, trajectory, what can happen, and what is the bottom of the markets. We never know that. At the same time, in any given situation of up and down, there's always an opportunity. Only thing is that one has to ensure that their investments are congruent with the risk profile, what they have, their investment objectives, their financial goals, and what they have the time in hand to achieve these goals. For this, like many of the panelists have also said, is that the investors should always be careful in these things. They should stay away from all kinds of external noises, advices, tips, what all comes to them. And they should do, because investing is always an individualistic decision. We should never depend on others. We should do our own due diligence, and then we should invest. We all understand that diversification is what is the need of the hour. It always talked about resilience, also talks about diversification. While we know that the different asset classes have different behaviors, it's based on the market fluctuations. However, a proper asset allocation across any class of, investments, it will actually help protect the investor from the significant ups and downs which may happen in any single asset class if they have only one single asset class in their portfolio. Further, every asset class has a risk return rate which may not be suitable to every investor. So every investor has to ascertain and analyze their personal level of risk appetite, their investment objectives, their financial goals, and the time horizon they have at their hand. This is how they have to do. So if I were to say that an intelligently crafted asset allocation can happen only through information assimilation and informed decision, it will serve as to have a very investment strategy in itself. One could balance their risk reward to create a diversified portfolio that suits best to their needs. And then they also need to weed out all those non-performing ones which they have accumulated over a period of time, and also check if there has been any inconsistency over the performance of their asset classes over a period of time. Now, this is what I had generally talked about, the investor resilience. Now, what SEBI has done in this regard with respect to the ensuring that resilience for investors, we have taken over a period of time, a lot of measures have been taken, and all these have led to a tremendous growth in the capital markets. And the credit goes not only to SEBI, but to all the stakeholders today who are there on this platform and probably not there on this platform, who have had a very big role to play in this growth. The growth that has been achieved in these markets is not only in terms of the world standards, but it has been, in some of those aspects, it has been beyond it also. And if I were to talk about the growth that has been achieved, it is not only in terms of safety, depth, probably products that has been brought in by SEBI, foreign investments, and over a period of time, we have brought down our dependence on the foreign investments, and we have gone more dependence on local and retail participation, which has increased a lot, as some of the eminent panelists have said so. And also information parity with the highest level of disclosure. So all this actually brings in a lot of resilience to the investors. Now, this apart, SEBI has imbibed technology a lot in all of its endeavors, in all of its measures. Not only now, since the beginning. If I were to talk from the beginning, we have started the online trading. Then the dematerialization has happened through the depository system. Then we brought in the rolling settlement. There has been corporatization and dematerialization of exchanges. Then introduction to equity, currency, and commodity derivatives, straight-through processing, governance of MIIs. And more recently, we have had this ASBA and IPO, eKYC, pledge, repledge. So all these are actually imbibing technology in its various measures that SEBI has taken. Now, when SEBI has brought in so much robustness in the market, the protection of the investors has only increased. But at the same time, the trust and confidence are also crucial for the financial transaction. So the trust and confidence is not the job of the regulator alone. I feel the trust and confidence will have to be done by all the suppliers of the financial products who have to keep their promises and ensure that they do not behave opportunistically. Now, investors, what happens is that if any of the products of the financial service providers are not to the advantage of the investors or to the advantage of only some, then investors feel betrayed. Yes, they have probably come to a system where they feel that others are enjoying unfair advantage of them. So whenever such a perception arises, SEBI is there. But at the same time, all the stakeholders are also have to join hands and ensure that all the measures that are being taken should be towards the well-developed regulation and of the markets, and Not only that, we have to ensure that we have the highest level of accountability and transparency, and that we should implement, both SEBI and all the stakeholders, all kinds of measures which should show that the function is aligned in terms of ensuring protection of investors, and enough measures are being taken that the grievance resolution is of the highest grade, and a lot of confidence and trust is instilled in the investors for investing in the markets. This is what I wanted to say. Thank you so much for this.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Dangeti. And now I request the chief guest of the day, Mr. Shekhar Chaudhary, the Director of the Capital Market Division in the Department of Economic Affairs. Honestly, sir, I apologize if we have given you a very short notice, but all programs were done on very short notice. We are apology to you, but I now request for the Mr. Shekhar Chaudhary. Prior to coming to the Ministry of Finance, he has worked with Reserve Bank of India for about 20 years, and he is an alumni of IIM Calcutta. Over to you, Mr. Shekhar Chaudhary.
Good afternoon, all dignitaries and friends. This year, this week, we are having this World Investor Week, and the theme of this is investor resilience and sustainable finance. SEBI and MIs, the exchanges, the depositories, and the market intermediaries, I gather, have planned a wide range of investor awareness activities across the country for promoting learning opportunities for investors. These activities include investors awareness programs, media campaigns, and quiz contests, etc. As it has been already said before me by various participants in this webinar about the number of Demat account holders we have. This number has recently gone past the 100 million mark. And many of them have been added only in recently, like in last 2 to 3 years, particularly during the COVID time. So we hope that the trend of this financial inclusion will continue in even a stronger manner. This wastes a great responsibility with us to facilitate awareness among investors by conducting various types of financial education programs, and investor awareness activities. The investors may be empowered to become Atmanirbhar Niveshak. I am sure CPI and MIs with SEBI to help investors understand the do's and don'ts of investing, assess the risk and return of various financial products in accordance with their risk appetite. Imparting investor education is a perennial responsibility and not confined to this awareness week only. I am sure that each one of us present here will underscore the importance of doing adequate due diligence before investing to the investors. Investors should carry out their financial planning and choose financial products aligned with their financial goals. Investors should not invest on the basis of market rumors, but should deal only with SEBI registered intermediaries. Now, since the theme is investor resilience and sustainable finance, now I'll speak 2 lines about the sustainable finance also. A key role for the exchange ecosystem is to facilitate the flow of capital into sustainable investments. SEBI has recently issued framework for social stock exchanges that will spur the impact investing, that is the social impact investing. The mission is to provide a global platform for exploring how social stock exchanges and in collaboration with investors, issuers, and other market participants can encourage sustainable investment, including the financing for the sustainable development goals. I'll stop here and thank you to Sabarwalji, the Wadwaji for calling me to participate in this webinar. I wish you all a very happy World Investor Week. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Chaudhary. And now, just 2 more minutes, I am requesting my senior executive committee member, Mr. Naveen Mathur, to give a concluding remark. And then our All India Vice President, Mr. Ajay Garg, will give a formal vote of thanks. Mr. Naveen Mathur, we are running short of time. Already we have overlapped. Just for a minute for the concluding remark to Mr. Naveen Mathur. I know you can speak even for hours also because of your knowledge, but today only for less than 2 minutes.
Thank you very much for your kind words, Sabarwalji. I am thankful to we all as a CPI, thankful to Shri Deepak Ranjanji. We are thankful to Shekhar Chaudhary ji. People from SEBI of senior officials.
Thanksgiving will be by Ajay Garg.
Sir, just give me a minute. I'm just setting the tone.
Thanksgiving
Okay, so my only submission is, and it is largely the problem which we are facing today, is with respect to these unsolicited and spurious calls from various parts of the country to do trading activities. They start asking you, trading kaise chal rahi hai sir? I think that is something which is very, very important part of this particular awareness week as to how do we tackle this. So I have done my justice to 1 minute what you have given to me. I think it's a part of the ecosystem which needs to work, Rajesh, along with the exchanges, that we need to work towards seeing to it that how we can control this kind, because still as of now, the DMAT penetration as far as the population is concerned is not too great. Means we are developing towards advanced economy, but our DMAT penetration is not there to a large extent. So these spurious calls make people feel that yes, what has happened in the past would continue to be at a part of the capital market. So I think that's one of the suggestions which I wanted to say. We are thankful for taking this suggestion, and the concluding remarks, so to say, is that we are very focused in terms of doing the investor awareness programs from the market intermediary side, and we continue to do so. I think I did justice, Sabarwalji, for 1 minute.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Naveen ji, for putting up a very good point, that this is the requirement of the time of these fictitious calls which we are receiving. And now I request my All India Vice President and the person from the next gen. Actually, CPI has put its Vice President as well as one Vice Chairman in his zone from the next gen only. That was the dream of our President, and we could do it. And now I request Mr. Ajay Garg to please give a formal vote of thanks. Over to you, Mr. Ajay Garg.
Thank you, Sabarwalji, and good afternoon, everyone. So it was a wonderful webinar on World Investor Week 2022. So I would like to thank our chief guest, Mr. Shri Shekhar Chaudhary ji, Director, Ministry of Finance, Mr. Deepak Ranjan ji from Ministry of Finance, and Shri GP Garg ji, Executive Director, SEBI, Shri Rajesh Kumar ji from Regional Director, SEBI, and other dignitaries from exchanges, clearinghouse and depository, and CPI. This investor webinar was very much required, as all the dignitaries have spoken about how 10 crores DMAT account we have reached, and in past few years more than 50% DMAT account has been added, and to the surprise, like more than 50% of the new account are coming from tier 3, tier 4 cities, and more than 50% of the accounts are less than 35% of the age. So this is how India is the financial inclusion is growing, though the numbers are still very less. Less than 6% of the population in India trade into capital market as compared to other developed countries where the numbers are 30% to 40%. But as we are growing and with the support of our regulator, where they're taking care of the investor protection, I think India too very soon would be achieving more than 20-25%, and we would be in great shape when India would reach 5 trillion or 10 trillion economy in time to come. So thank you everyone, and thank you all the investors who patiently are listening to this program. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Ajay. I am thankful to the Secretariat also that there was no net, net was there in the CPI office, but still we could manage it. Yes, twice the YouTube got disconnected, though when GP Garg was speaking, more than 100 people were there. But as twice the YouTube get disconnected, the number of people get reduced. But I am thankful to my other colleagues, our chairman from the West, chairman from the South, Mr. Sunil Bansal, and other people to be a part of this event. We look forward that on 16th, the concluding of this week will also be done by the CPI, and we are hopeful that Mr. Ashwini Bhatia, the old-time member SEBI, will be a part of that webinar. Thanks a lot. Thanks everyone. And thanks a lot to Mr. Ashok Agarwal and Mr. Narendra Bhadwa. But we are happy that 2 senior officials from SEBI, 2 senior officials from government, all the 5 exchanges, stocks and commodity, and both the depositories we were represented. Thanks to one and all.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you all.
Thank you and good day all.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you, everyone.
बादल
Thank you,
साहब
CPI.
जन्मदिन की ढेर सी बधाई. आप स्वस्थ रहें, मस्त रहें, ऐसे ही सबसे प्रेम बनाए रखें.
धन्यवाद सुनील जी.
Thank you, sir. Narinder sir, thank you. Sabharwal ji, सबको नमस्कार sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Wadhwa ji. Thank you, Sabharwal ji.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all CPI members.
And thanks to Madam,